Babysitting sounded easy. A quiet house, a quiet kid, a decent payout. Max was maybe 6, polite, quiet, and glued to cartoons. The parents gave me the usual rundown: emergency numbers, bedtime, don't let him eat too much sugar. And one more thing. The dad said it as a joke, I think. Oh, and if Max turns on that weird Peppa Pig channel, just change it. It freaks him out sometimes. Right. Totally normal. 9:38 p.m. Max was watching Peppa Pig while I scrolled on my phone, half listening. The colors were off. The sky was gray. The grass looked dead. And Peppa wasn't bouncing around or laughing. She was just standing there, in the middle of a field, looking at the screen. At me. I leaned forward. The animation style looked old, glitchy, like a VHS copy of something that should have been thrown out. Then I saw it. In the background, behind Peppa, in the window of a cartoon house. Another figure. Small. Pink. Still. Another pig. I paused. Hey, Max. Who's that in the window? He didn't answer. He just stared. I swear, he didn't even blink. Back on the screen, Peppa turned her head, slowly, toward the window behind her. The second pig in the background smiled. No face. Just a wide, unnatural grin filled with fangs. Then the screen glitched. Colors inverted. The music warped into screeching static. Peppa opened her mouth, impossibly wide.
I see you,
she whispered. Not in the episode, in the room. The lights flickered. The remote didn't work. Neither did the power button. I ripped the cord from the wall. The screen stayed on. Peppa's face distorted. Her eyes were deep voids, and her smile was too human now. Then she said something else. She wasn't supposed to be seen. The background pig, the one in the window, stepped closer. My heart was pounding like a war drum. Suddenly, Max spoke. His voice was tiny. Flat.
She's at our window now.
I turned my head so fast it hurt. Max's bedroom window was behind me. And pressed against the glass. 2 snouts. One was the other, the background figure, looked twisted, wrong, like a melted version of her, with long fingers instead of hooves. Their black eyes were locked on Max. I slammed the curtains shut and backed away. The window rattled, like something was testing the glass. Then, silence. The TV finally went black. I looked at Max. He hadn't moved. Before the parents came home, I worked up the nerve to check outside. And there they were, beneath the window. 2 sets of hoofprints. One was small and clean. The other was dragging, misshapen, like fingers pulling through the dirt. I haven't babysat since, and I will never watch another episode of Peppa Pig again. This happened last winter. I work security for an old school district bus yard. Quiet place, nothing ever happens. But one night, around 2 a.m., I saw something strange on the monitors. One of the buses, bus number 88, had its headlights on. That was impossible. The fleet had been powered down hours ago. I thought maybe one of the mechanics left something running, so I grabbed my flashlight and headed out. When I got there, the lights were off again. Weird. But the back door of the bus was wide open. I climbed inside slowly, cold air rushed out like a freezer. The whole interior felt wrong. Like the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring. Then I saw it. At the very front of the bus, standing in the aisle, was a tall silhouette. Thin. Unmoving. Holding something. My flashlight flickered, but I saw the glint of metal. A knife. I froze. It didn't move, just stood there, breathing heavy, like it was waiting. I stepped back, tried the door, locked. I didn't hear it walk. I didn't hear it move. But when I looked back, it was halfway down the aisle. Still holding the knife. Still silent. I panicked, smashed the emergency exit with my elbow, and fell out the back. Cut up my arm, but I didn't care. I ran. When I got to the office, I hit the alarms. Police came quick. But when they searched the bus, it was empty. Completely. Except for one thing on the driver's seat. A long kitchen knife. And a note. It read, "Next time, don't run." When I moved into my new apartment, everyone warned me about Unit 2B. "Nice guy," the landlord said, "but just don't talk to him much. Keep to yourself." Weird advice. But I was broke and desperate, so I signed the lease anyway. My first encounter with Mr. Barlow happened the day I moved in. He lived directly across the hall. As I unlocked my door, his creaked open. He just stood there, motionless. Watching. He was tall. Pale. Late 50s, maybe. Thin lips and round, staring eyes that didn't blink enough.
"Welcome,"
he said, voice flat like an old voicemail. Then slowly closed his door without breaking eye contact. Things got worse from there. Every night at exactly 1:13 a.m., I'd hear his door unlock. He'd open it. And just stand in the hallway. Breathing loudly. For hours. Sometimes, he'd whisper things. Names. Nonsense. The sound of chewing. One night I peeked through the peephole, and saw him standing right in front of my door, his ear pressed to it. I didn't move. I barely breathed. Eventually he muttered,
"You're not sleeping either,"
and shuffled back into his unit. I started keeping a knife by my bed. Just in case. Then I started getting gifts. Small ones, left outside my door. A dead bird in a lunch bag. A hairbrush with hair that wasn't mine. A Polaroid of me, inside my kitchen. I live alone. I went to the landlord. He just sighed.
He's been here for 20 years. We've tried to get him out, but no one wants to escalate.
Last week, I caught Mr. Barlow looking in through my living room window from the fire escape. We live on the 3rd floor. I told myself that was it. I was done. I packed a bag and got a hotel for the night. When I came back the next morning, my apartment reeked. Like copper and mold. On the wall, written in what looked like something brownish red, were the words, "Don't look at his window." I checked the hallway mirror. Barlow's door was wide open. Inside, his apartment was empty, no furniture, no dishes, just a single chair. And on the wall, hundreds of photos, all of me. Sleeping. Eating. Sitting. In one, I was brushing my teeth, while he stood in the shower behind me. I moved out that same day. No one knows where Barlow went. The landlord won't talk about it. No one in the building will answer questions. But sometimes, when I walk home from work, I see someone standing in the 3rd floor window of my old apartment. Tall. Pale. Motionless. Watching.
Oh, I don't know how I got here. One moment I was lying in my bed, phone in hand. The next, I woke up in a strange place, a massive outdoor field, surrounded by tall pink walls that stretched into the sky. The ground beneath my feet was dusty, dry like a playground design in hell. I wasn't alone. Hundreds of others were there too, looking just as confused. Everyone wore the same green tracksuit. The number on mine read 456. A loud, robotic voice echoed from nowhere.
Welcome to red light, green light.
The huge iron doors in front of us creaked open, revealing a towering mechanical doll. My heart nearly stopped. It was Peppa Pig, but not the cheerful one from TV. No. This version was wrong. Her skin was glitchy, cracked, like a corrupted video file. Her eyes were hollow and oozing black tar. Her mouth too wide, too sharp, with rows of jagged, metallic teeth. Her head jerked side to side like a broken animatronic.
Green light.
A bell rang. The crowd started running. I moved cautiously.
Red light.
Everyone froze. Complete silence. Then I heard it, the mechanical click-click-click of her giant feet stepping forward. Someone had stumbled next to me, just barely moving. Peppa's head snapped around 180 degrees. Her eyes locked onto him. She smiled. With an inhuman shriek, she leapt from her pedestal, her feet crashing into the dirt. She hovered over him, then opened her mouth, wider and wider, until it split her entire face. He screamed, but it was too late. Chomp. The sound was wet. Loud. Final. Blood splattered across the ground in a perfect circle around her. She turned back, like nothing happened.
Green light.
We moved again, slower this time. Every step felt like I was walking through a nightmare. People panicked. One girl sobbed as she ran.
Red light.
3 more people moved by mistake. Peppa's sensors beeped. She charged. This time she didn't just eat them, she played with them. Grabbing one by the leg, swinging him like a toy before crushing his bones between her metal jaws. Another, she bit clean in half and laughed, a twisted, broken laugh full of static and children's music. By the time I reached the finish line, only 6 of us remained. The field behind us was no longer a playground. It was a graveyard, splattered with torn clothes, blood, and pieces. Peppa turned her cracked head toward us. Her voice buzzed through the speaker.
Congratulations, survivors. Next game. Hide and squeal.
She licked the blood from her lips with a long, black tongue. And then, she smiled.
This happened about 3 years ago. I just moved into a cheap 1-bedroom apartment and was looking for furniture wherever I could find it. Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, yard sales, anything. One night around 9 p.m., I was browsing Craigslist when I saw a post that caught my eye. Free mirror, great condition, must pick up tonight. There were no photos. Just a short description and a pin drop just outside town. Something about it felt rushed. But I needed a mirror, and it was free. I messaged the number on the post, and the reply came within seconds. Still available. Come alone. Back doors open. That last part should have been the red flag, but I ignored it. When I pulled up to the address, my gut immediately tightened. The house looked abandoned. No lights. No signs of life. Just an old pale yellow car parked out front. Not a van, more like a car from the 90s, rust along the edges, grime on the windshield like it had been sitting there for years. But the tires looked fresh. I parked but didn't get out right away. I stared at the car, half expecting someone to step out. No one did. I texted again. I'm here. A reply came instantly. Back door. Basement. The back of the house was worse. Overgrown weeds. Broken patio light. But the door, it was open, just waiting. I stepped inside. The air was stale and smelled like wet concrete. The whole house was stripped, no furniture, no decor, just bare floors and walls that looked like they'd been water damaged years ago. The basement door creaked as I touched it. There was no light coming from below. I turned on my phone flashlight and began descending. At the bottom, I scanned the room. Empty. Cement walls. Pipes. One broken chair. And something else. A silhouette. Standing in the far corner, facing the wall. Perfectly still. I froze. I whispered. Hello. The figure didn't move. Then the door at the top of the stairs creaked shut. I turned fast, panicking, and when I looked back, the silhouette was gone. I ran up the stairs. Tried the door, locked. I banged on it, kicked it. Nothing. Then, from behind me, I heard breathing. Slow. Wet. Close. I didn't turn around. Somehow, the door gave way, and I sprinted out the house and back to my car. But as I fumbled for my keys, I looked back. Someone was standing in the doorway. Watching. The pale yellow car's headlights flicked on. I didn't wait. I jumped in, floored it, and didn't stop driving until I was halfway across town. The next day, I checked the Craigslist post again. It was gone. I tried to report it, but when I gave the police the address, they told me no house existed there. The lot was supposedly cleared months ago. I drove back out of curiosity. They were right. It was just an empty patch of dirt. No house. No car. No basement. But deep in the soft ground, behind where the house should have stood, I found footprints. Mine. And someone else's. Bare. Long. Twisted. It was one of those still summer nights, no wind, no sounds, not even bugs. Just silence pressing against the windows. I live in a quiet area, far from the main road, surrounded by trees and dirt paths. My nearest neighbor is a 10-minute walk through the woods, and I like it that way. It's peaceful, usually. That night, I had just turned off the TV and was locking up. It was almost midnight. The house was dim, lit only by a lamp in the hallway. I walked past the front door and something caught my eye through the peephole. Movement. I stopped. Leaned forward. There was someone standing at the edge of my yard, just outside the glow of the porch light. Not moving. Just there. At first I thought it might be a tree or a shadow, but no. It was a person. Tall. Still. Facing my house. I didn't open the door. I didn't say anything. I just stood frozen, staring through the peephole. Minutes passed. They didn't move. They didn't come closer. I backed away slowly, went to the living room, and peeked out through the curtains. Gone. The yard was empty. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding, trying to convince myself it was just my eyes playing tricks. Maybe a kid from the nearby town messing around. I sat down, phone in hand, ready to call someone, but who do you call when you might have seen something? Then came the knock. 3 of them. Not loud. Just firm. Precise. At the back door. I jumped to my feet and ran to the kitchen. There's no porch light back there, just a small window above the sink. I reached up, pulled the curtain back, and felt my stomach drop. There he was. Right at the door. Standing perfectly still. Pale face. No expression. Just watching. He didn't knock again. He didn't speak. He didn't try the handle. He just stood there. I don't remember locking the door, I must have already done it earlier. I slowly backed away and grabbed my phone. I dialed 911, whispering to the dispatcher what was happening. While I was on the line, I heard it again. Knock. 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 At the side door this time. He was moving around the house. No footsteps. No sound. Just, knocking. Door to door. Like he was checking each one. Always 3 knocks. Always just standing afterward. The dispatcher told me to lock myself in a room and wait. Officers were on the way, but it might take a while. I ran upstairs, locked my bedroom door, and turned off all the lights. I curled up in the corner, heart pounding. I sat there in the dark for what felt like forever. And through the silence, I heard it again. Knock. This time, on the upstairs window. 2nd floor. I didn't move. Didn't breathe. Just stared toward the window, terrified I'd see a face looking back. But it never came. Eventually, I saw flashing lights outside. Police. I ran down and let them in. They searched everything, no sign of him. No footprints. No damage. Nothing. Just a greasy handprint on the glass by the upstairs window. They never found him. No one saw anything. No nearby cameras caught a thing. It's been a few weeks since then. The nights have been quiet. But sometimes, when it's really late and the house is still, I feel like someone's watching from the trees. And sometimes, I still hear it. Knock. Knock. Knock.